Good morning, children. I hope you all are well and staying safe. Today we will study the second chapter from your textbook, that is January 9th. Now, children, they say that the Indian farmer is born in debt, lives in debt, and dies in debt. Now, why is it so? See, you must have studied about zamindari system in history classes, where these zamindars or the land owners, they held enormous or huge tracts of land, and they control the peasants or these poor farmers in the form of taxes. Now, this evil we see that it was not only found in our country, that is India, but it was found in many other countries across the world. And these poor farmers, they always lived below the poverty line, and at times they did not even have enough to feed their families. So, in this chapter, that is January 9th, we are going to study about an Indian farmer named Halku who is also in debt and how he struggles during the extremely cold night of January. You can follow in your books, girls, what I'm reading. This short story, which has been translated by David Rubin, is from a collection of stories called The World of Premchand. So originally this January night, this was written in Hindi by Premchand, and later on it was translated in English by David Rubin. And it's taken from a collection of stories named The World of Premchand. January night was originally called Poos Ki Raat, and Poos is the name of a month according to the Hindu solar calendar. There are two types of calendars according to Hindus. One is solar calendar and the other one is lunar calendar. The story has been abridged or it has been made short. It has been shortened. Now this story is given in parts. So today we are going to cover the first part. Halku came in and said to his wife, "The landlord's come. Get the rupees you set aside. I'll give him the money and somehow or other we'll get along without it." So in the first scene we see that Halku enters his house and he tells his wife, he informs his wife that the landlord has come. Whatever money you have set aside or you have saved, bring it to him. We'll give it to him. And somehow we'll manage without it. Munni had been sweeping. She turned around and said, "But there are only 3 rupees. If you give them to him, where's the blanket going to come from? How are you going to get through these January nights in the fields?" So, as you can see in the picture, girls, Munni is holding a broom in her hand. So, when the husband enters the house, she had been sweeping. So, she turns around and she tells her husband that there are only 3 rupees. And what will happen if you give those 3 rupees to the landlord? Where are you going to get the blanket from? And how are you going to get through these cold January nights? Tell him we'll pay him after the harvest, not right now. Then she tells her husband that you go out and tell the landlord that we'll pay him afterwards, after the harvest, and not right now. Underline the word harvest, girls, and you can write the meaning. Harvest, it's a process of gathering, or you can say cutting of crops. Harvest is a process of gathering or cutting of crops. For a moment, Halku stood hesitating. Without a blanket, he couldn't possibly sleep in the fields at night. But the landlord wouldn't be put off. He'd threaten and insult him. So for a moment, he did not know what to do. So he stood there hesitating. And he was just thinking in his mind that without a blanket, it's difficult to manage in the fields at night. At the same time, he cannot put off this landlord. He cannot chase away this landlord because he would not go without taking the money. And he'd threaten him and insult him. So what did it matter if they died in the cold weather as long as they could just take care of this calamity right now? So this calamity, this word here refers to the landlord who had been standing outside the house waiting for the money. As he thought this, he moved his heavy body and came close to his wife. So all these thoughts were going on in his mind, and then he just comes closer to his wife. Trying to coax her, he said, "Come on, give it to me. We'll manage. I'll figure out some other plan to get the blanket." Underline the word coax and you can write the meaning as persuade. So he tries to persuade his wife and he tells her that, "Come on, give it to me. We'll manage and I'll figure out means find out. I'll find out some other plan to get the blanket." Munni drew away from him. So Munni, she steps back. Her eyes angry, she said, "You just tell me what other plan can be found. Is somebody going to give you a blanket? God knows how many debts are always left over that we can't pay off." So the wife gets very angry and she tells the husband, "You just tell me what is that other plan and who's going to gift you a blanket? And God only knows that how many debts are left for us to pay off." So she's very angry with her husband. "What I say is, give up this tenant farming. The work's killing you." Then she suggests her husband that leave this tenant farming. The work is too much for you. It's literally killing you. Whatever you harvest goes to pay up the arrears. So why not finish with it? Earn some money for your own belly. I won't give you the money. I won't. So the wife, she just refuses to give that money and she tells her husband that you give up this tenant farming. The work is literally killing you, and whatever you harvest, that is not enough to pay off these arrears. And do some work, earn some money for your own belly. Belly means your stomach. And then she refuses and she says, "I won't give you the money. I won't." Sadly, Halku said, "Then I'll have to put up with this abuse." And at this, Halku becomes very sad. He's very disheartened. And what he says, "Okay, then I'll have to bear with his abuse." Abuse means his insult. The bitter truth in Halku's words came charging at Munni like a wild beast. So the moment Munni hears these words from Halku, that he has to bear the abuse, he has to bear the insult from the landlord, she gets all the more wild. And what she says, she becomes very angry. And what she says, she doesn't say anything. She went to the niche in the wall, took out the rupees and handed them over to Halku. So without saying a word, what she does, she goes to the niche. Now niche, it's a kind of shelf in the olden times where people used to keep the statue or some lamp and all. So she went to the niche in the wall, took out the rupees and handed them over to Halku. Then she said, "Give up farming this time. If you work as a hired laborer, you'll at least get enough food to eat from it. Find work farming someone else's land." So in a very soft tone, now she becomes a little mild and she tells her husband, "Give up farming this time. And why don't you work as a hired laborer? Okay, it's better you work as a hired laborer. At least you'll get enough food to eat." And then in a very sarcastic manner, what she says, "Find work farming someone else's land." That means it's not at all fine to work at someone else's land. Halku took the money and went outside, looking as though he were tearing his heart out and giving it away. So Halku, he takes the money from his wife, and with a very, very sad, with a very heavy heart, he walks out, and it seemed as if he were tearing his heart out and giving it away. He'd saved the rupees from his work, pice by pice, for his blanket. So this money, this 3 rupees, the meager amount of 3 rupees, girls, he had saved with great difficulty, pice by pice. And for what he had saved this money pice by pice so that he could purchase a blanket. And today he was going to throw it away. Throw it away, that means he had to give it away to the landlord very unwillingly. With every step, his head sank lower under the burden of his poverty. So, with a very, very disheartened heart, with very sad heart, every step he found it difficult to walk because he did not want to part with that money. That money he had saved with great difficulty so that he may purchase a blanket which would give him warmth during the cold January nights. So you see, girls, with this we complete the first part of the story. So here we can see, girls, I'll just read the last line again. With every step his head sank lower under the burden of poverty. Now what is poverty, girls? See, poverty is considered to be a burden, and who wants poverty? No one wants poverty. And everyone wants, every person, okay, every human being, they dream of a luxurious life. They want all the comforts of life. And some people are lucky, whereas others are not. And especially if we talk about the farmers like Halku, they have to struggle a lot on daily basis. So here you see that meager amount of 3 rupees he had saved with great difficulty, and that also with a very heavy heart he had to give it to the landlord. Okay, so second part, girls, will continue tomorrow. I hope you have understood the first part. Just kindly go through this first part once again and see that you have followed everything. Second part will continue tomorrow. Okay, good day.